The house sat comfortably at the periphery of its town. Red brick, 2 stories, shrouded by a canopy of trees whose leaves gently brushed themselves against the roof. The first time I drove there was a mild spring morning, where I rolled the windows down and tasted the air. It was cleaner here. Sweet. The herbs in the garden had been recently planted, and I saw their little green heads popped up above the soil. In the house lived a family of 3, a mother and her 2 children, a son and daughter, bound to each other by a fierce love, the electricity in their laughter, the purple moons beneath their eyes, their hysteria. Bound to the house by the wood paneling of the floors, the fading wallpaper, the pipes in the earth. The foundations themselves, the walls of their home ached with them. I adored them. The mother, the son, daughter. Each in ways I still struggle to assign words to. And I still think about them a lot. Maybe not as much as I used to, but nonetheless, quite a bit. It's a haunting of sorts. The protagonists of my year of love and violence have never left me. Or rather, it was their year of love and violence, and I was simply a guest. Or a variable. Either way. Have you ever seen a girl turn into a bird?
SUZANNE.
SAUL.
It's nice to meet you. In person, that is.
The feeling is mutual.
I'm a firm believer that an in-person meeting is always a step up from a phone call. Were you able to make it over all right? I know that some of the roads around these parts are a little treacherous, especially once you reach the,
Sure.
I hope it wasn't too much of a bother.
Other than my car careening off the side of the road, it was just fine.
Oh.
It's steaming in a ditch as we speak.
Well, I'm glad you made it out alive.
It was actually a very pleasant ride, a lot less traffic than in the city.
Oh, I'm sure.
Some exceptional greenery around these parts too.
Can I get you anything to drink? I just brewed some tea.
That would be lovely.
And please sit. You're in grad school, you said?
Yes.
What for?
Doctorate in English Lit.
That's quite the endeavor.
Some say endeavor, others say venture into debt. Thank you.
Tomato.
Something along those lines.
I used to dream of being a literature arts professor at a small liberal arts college. You know, the type with ivy crawling up stone walls and everyone wearing comically large scarves?
That's the goal. Comically large scarf and all. What'd you go for instead?
Having my first child. I appreciate you coming to meet Mathilde before you start lessons. I thought that for the 2 of you to have a bit of an introduction period could be nice. Something a little softer than a trial run. Acclimation, I suppose.
You mentioned on the phone that she's been homeschooled for 3 years?
Since she was 12.
Why did you take your daughter out of school? I mean, if I may ask. You don't have to answer that. I don't mean to pry. I know that some situations are delicate and...
All right. Tilly's health is, it's a little fragile. and it would often interfere with her schooling, and it became difficult to, bend a rigid schedule around her health's needs, which is unfortunate.
Schools oftentimes lack empathy.
Right. Right. And I had established pretty early on what my priority was.
That's commendable.
Thank you. It's what I thought was best for her, and I think it has been.
As a tutor, you see a lot of parents who they're not in tune with what their child needs, and the kid just really suffers for it. Education isn't a one-size-fits-all sort of thing, and I'm glad you. I mean, if I can be so bold as to say it, I'm glad you prioritized her health.
That's kind of you to say. Thank you.
Is there anything I should know about Tilly's health? Anything in particular I should keep an eye out for? Any allergies?
Don't worry about that.
But please don't hesitate to tell me if...
If anything, her doctor says that we may be approaching a long-term solution, and I'd like to send her back to school when she's recovered, have her be around peers her age sooner than later, so this engagement may only be a few months long.
Is this your first time hiring a full-time tutor?
No. There were a few previous ones that didn't quite work out.
Well, tutoring isn't a one-size-fits-all sort of thing either.
I suppose not. Would you like to meet her?
The walls of their home ached with them. And where are you now, Tilly? Have you tasted the sky?
Can I draw you?
Which way, you said?
Kind of just... Here, look at my finger.
Sure. Like this?
Yeah. Thank you for letting me draw you. You have an interesting face.
Oh.
Oh, no, I didn't. I meant it in a good way. I'm sorry. You have a nice face to draw. No, I'm sorry.
I didn't mean it. I understood what you meant. Take my word for it.
Okay.
I'm happy I have an interesting face.
It's nice to draw someone other than Mom or Joseph.
Joseph.
My brother. He's at work during the day.
And you don't draw anybody else?
The shading on that part of the neck is always tricky. The spot where they take your pulse.
Here?
Mm-hmm. The way the skin just... It's difficult to capture. A lot more difficult with a real person than with a picture. But I like it. Trying to replicate life, it's like an honor.
Did you paint that? The flowers and the herbs?
I did.
I noticed the garden out front, and it looks like some of the herbs are growing in. Is it yours?
Yeah. I grow them all on my own.
And these are the ones in your garden?
Every time I plant something new, I paint it. Started 3 years ago when the walls began to feel a little too familiar. Walls want to know everything, so I painted on them to remind them of their place.
Did you ever take art lessons? Or?
Not really. I only really started drawing when I was first homeschooled. It keeps me busy, that and the garden.
Speaking of which, your mother mentioned that it's likely that you'll be back in school, maybe in a few months.
Dr. Hess says it's possible.
That must be exciting.
Yeah.
You're at home a lot, are you?
Yeah, I spend most of my time here with my mom. It's just not always safe for me out there, so I try to make the most out of being in the house. It'll be nice having you around.
We started lessons soon after that first day. 4 days a week, I would drive to the red brick house at the periphery of its town, to what quickly became a lovely partnership where I understood Tilly's whims and would let her enthusiasm carry us, and she loved nothing more than when we'd read or write in silence. And sometimes I'd derail our plans so that she could talk for hours, often about the characters in the novels we dove into. Tilly had a profound interest in people, their inner depths and inconsistencies, and the conflicting truths they simultaneously held. She was perceptive in that way.
I'm done.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's something very special about it. Very fragile, like if I breathed on the pages too hard, the words would dissolve.
I read that book first year of grad school, and it really stuck with me. It brought me a lot of companionship at a difficult time in my life. Companionship.
What happened?
My mother died. She was the person I was closest to, and I never really knew my father. And, well, I'd always been a little bit of a solitary guy.
I didn't know my dad either. Are you ever lonely, Saul?
Lonely. I wouldn't say that I'm unhappy on my own.
I'm lonely sometimes. But books have always made good company when I'm too sick to read or draw or garden. My mother reads to me.
That's very special. If won't you?
Okay. Thank you.
And if there's anything you think I should know about, if I can help in any way, I just want to make sure that you're well.
Oh, hey, Mom.
Here you go.
I'll be hungry later.
Oh.
Thank you.
Class is going well?
Yes, Tilly is a joy to teach.
How sweet of you to say.
I'm quickly discovering her many talents.
Saul, come on.
Your daughter's a very skilled writer, Suzanne.
Tilly's been writing stories since she was very small. Quite the imaginative mind on this one.
Hey, Mom.
Speaking of stories, I was meaning to speak to both of you about something.
Oh.
I noticed that there's a river not far from here, and since it's been getting quite hot, I was thinking that maybe on a day where you'd feel up to it, Tilly, we could go right by the water. And if you'd feel more comfortable joining us, Suzanne, please feel free to.
I'm sorry, I don't think that's a good idea. I'd much rather have her in the house because there's too many things that could go wrong. And I think we should just eliminate the possibility of that happening altogether.
That's all right. That's all right. I understand. I can plan some summary activities for us to do at home. What do you think, Tilly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'd really like that. Maybe we can garden together. I can teach you everything.
That sounds like a wonderful time. And maybe your mother could join us.
Oh, you could. Mom, and maybe if Joseph's home, he could too.
I suppose so. How about it, Suzanne?
Yes, that sounds like it could be a lovely time. Thank you.
And perhaps Tilly's interest in people, or at the very least, the people in the books we read, came from her distance from the rest of the world. Sort of outside looking in curiosity. It wasn't that Tilly spent most of her time at home with her mother. Tilly spent all of her time at home with her mother. The house was a carefully preserved ecosystem, or something to the effect of a snow globe. I had found myself to be the sole foreign element in this little pocket of the universe where everything revolved around the preservation of Tilly's health, of which I still knew nothing about. But one afternoon, sometime later, I met the third member of the family, whose presence seemed to accentuate the transient role I played in this home.
Joseph!
Hey, Tills. Hi, Mom.
What a surprise! Are you joining us for lunch?
Unfortunately not. I just wanted to deliver the lab documents from Dr. Hess's office.
Oh, I was supposed to chat over the phone.
Can't you eat with us just for today?
Sorry, Tilly, they need me at the office. And you know the drive back to the city takes a while.
I get it. Gotta put in those hours. Become the best accountant in the world, or whatever.
And Mom will have my ass if I don't.
I think that's a slight exaggeration, honey.
Well, I took a peek at the reports, Mom. I hope you don't mind.
No, of course not.
And it looks like Dr. Hess is leaning towards a more hormonal treatment.
Oh.
Yeah, like injections and whatnot. And he seems to indicate that he'll have to conduct just some more tests before he finds the capital T treatment, but maybe only a few more months of them?
A few months, that's nothing.
I caught him in the lobby. He seemed really hopeful about this one. Looks like they've learned from past messes. He's visiting next week, right?
Yes, on Thursday. Isn't this exciting, Tilly?
Saul?
Ready? Hello.
You must be the tutor.
I'm Saul. You must be Tilly's brother.
Tilly's told me about you. So, how long you been teaching my sister for? Month and a half?
I'd say so.
What kind of qualifications do you have there, Saul?
Joseph, don't interrogate him.
Mom, I was hoping I could get to know Tilly's tutor a little better, considering that others haven't been particularly great.
That lack of faith in my judgment, I hear?
I'm not saying it was your fault.
Joseph!
Nonetheless, I'm glad to finally meet you, Joseph.
I should be getting back to work.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. There's no need.
I've been kinder to you.
It's really nothing. I'm just a stranger in his house.
More than just that, Saul.
He seems to be protective of her.
That he is.
The other tutors...
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
I'm happy to have met your son, Suzanne.
As am I.
Can you hold this for me for a moment? Thank you. Pot?
Here you go.
Hold on. This happens sometimes. Give me a moment. Damn it. I'm sorry. You don't have to do that.
Let me take care of it. Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask, Tilly?
Tilly, can you come set the table, please?
As obfuscated as the inner workings of this special little family were to me, my life outside the solitary walls of their home seemed to interest them. And so, a few weeks in, they invited me to dinner.
Saul, would you like a glass of wine?
That's all right, thanks.
I'm so glad you're joining us for dinner. We're not keeping you from family dinner, are we?
No, I'm sure my cat can be patient.
Oh.
Don't really have any family dinners to attend.
Oh. I suppose you don't have any.
Doesn't mean that I can't cook a mean family dinner, though. I'd be happy to make something one of these days, or even just help.
Where'd you learn to cook?
My mother. I'd often cook for her.
Does she know you're offering to cook for other mothers?
She passed away a few years ago, but I'm sure she'd be happy to know that I'm cooking for someone other than myself.
I'm sorry about your loss.
It's all right. She was sick for a while. And after some time, you're ready to let go. She had me when she was young, around the same age as when you had Joseph.
Is Joseph gonna be late?
He called to say that he had some long meetings this evening. Tilly?
Mm-hmm.
Thought we were being more careful about foods now. We haven't vetted tomatoes for you yet, and I don't...
I'll be fine, Mom.
I don't know what might trigger what, dear.
I'll be fine, Mom.
Fine, how you doing?
Mom, really? I'll be okay.
How can you know that?
Mom!
You're being a little reckless.
And you're being a control freak.
Mathilde.
Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
I know. Sweetie, I just worry. Oh, Tilly, Saul, how were lessons today?
Really good.
I'd even say they were great.
Really?
Sound so surprised, Mom. Hey.
Don't be silly. I'm proud of you. What did you do?
We ventured into poetry today.
Poetry?
It was a lot of fun.
You should share your most recent poems with your mom, Tilly, and maybe next week we could have a reading?
Oh, great idea.
Okay, but don't get your hopes too high.
In that case, my dear, I'll be sure to set them extremely high.
Mom!
I'm just teasing you.
I'm sorry about all of that. all over a stupid tomato.
Family thicker. It happens.
I know, but you're our guest, and I know that Mom was really excited about this because we don't have guests ever, and I feel like I've ruined it.
This evening is far from ruined, Tilly. You are both wonderful hosts, and I am having the loveliest time. She cares about you a lot, doesn't she?
Yeah. She really does.
She's really dedicated to your well-being.
Sometimes I feel like I swallowed her entire world when I first became ill.
All right.
This smells great.
Mom?
Oh,
It just really hurts.
Rudy, can you do that?
I don't know.
This is because of the tomato?
I do not think it's because of the tomato.
Is
Living room.
there anything I can do?
Maybe we should reschedule dinner, so.
Mm-hmm.
1 to 10, how much?
3.5?
Be honest with me, Matilde, it looks more than a 3.5.
Maybe a 5, but I mean, like, what even is a 5? Mom!
Susanna, are you sure there isn't anything I can do?
Let him help, Mom. It's okay.
Ice from the freezer and a towel. The blue one hanging on the stove.
Of course.
Okay? Dr. Katz and his team have been working so hard at the lab. And this isn't a forever problem. It's just for right now. Just right now. You're my strong girl. How much does it hurt?
I think it's a 7.
7 since your first fractures, have we?
No.
3 days?
3 years.
I'll put the ice on.
Okay.
Is that feel better?
I don't know.
Is it making it worse?
I don't know.
We try to breathe together. Just in and out.
I don't know, Mom. I don't know. I'm scared.
No.
What if things get so much worse and this isn't even a real 7, it's just a 3? Like, this is literally just my hand, which is such a small part of my body, and it's gonna get so much worse. And what if I'm not strong enough for a real 7, Mom? What happens when it's not just my hand?
I know, and I just wish I could take this hurt away.
It's never been like this, Mom. I've never.
Hello? Tilly. Oh, Tilly.
It's my hand.
Is it your skin? Your bones?
I don't know. It just hurts.
It's 7 right now.
Should we be calling Dr. Hess?
I don't know. It's just been getting worse over the past few minutes.
Why are you here? It's late.
I invited him to dinner.
To dinner.
You wanted me to leave earlier? I can still do that.
Don't go, Saul, please.
Saul's been kind enough to offer his help, and I would like for him to be here, as would your sister, clearly.
And you're really sure about this, Mom?
Joseph!
You really gonna let Tilly's tutor in on this?
Joseph!
Don't they usually just run away with their tails tucked between their legs the second Tilly is mildly sick?
Saul has clearly not.
Joseph, stop.
Suzanne,
No, I don't think he has a right to see this.
Stop it.
I don't think he has a right to see Tilly at her worst. What does he know about any of this?
Joseph, I promise
please,
you, I don't,
he's
I
my
don't mean to
friend.
intrude.
To be any sort of help to my sister.
I care about her, Joseph. I care about your sister, and I care about your mother. And if they both want me here, I am staying.
Listen, guy, I don't give a shit. If you're fucking
Hey,
my mother,
hey.
you need to leave.
You will not speak to Saul that way, and you will not speak about me that way.
sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I don't trust you.
Apologize to Saul. Apologize to Saul.
Joseph, please.
I apologize, Saul.
I'm the one who makes the calls here, Joseph. And you will have to trust my judgment. Now go get your sister's painkillers.
Suzanne,
I feel awful. To have invited you to family dinner only for you to suffer such abuse.
Suzanne, what matters to me most right now is Tilly. My feelings are secondary. Can you promise not to worry about me? All right. How are we doing?
Not good. Really, really not good.
Grab the pills in a moment.
Is there anything I can do for you, Tilly?
I think that the
Can you tell me about the city at night? I've never been.
At night, you can't see the stars. Not like out here, but the buildings and street lights and cars all twinkle, and you feel very small. Not in a melancholy sort of way, but in the way where you feel like your placement in the world makes sense, when your skin feels like it fits right, and your feet feel like they're planted where they're supposed to be. Your little puzzle piece is snug in its spot, and every particle of your being knows that it belongs.
Do you normally feel like you belong, Saul?
I don't know, Tilly. I mostly wander from place to place. I pass through people. That's how it is. That's how it's been. But I know that I belong in those moments. And I think I feel it here too, Tilly, in this home. With you.
With us?
I've got them. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
Hey, Joseph.
Really?
I didn't think it'd be so soon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that a claw?
No.
I thought I had more time. I thought I had at least 6 months until I started to look different.
Girl, I promise we'll have you back to normal soon, Tilly. I promise.
Oh, yeah, we can't let this rattle us.
You'll be perfectly human in no time, my love.
Tilly, are you?
You'll be back in school with all the other kids, and you'll be just like them, Tills, and this will all have been a bad dream. No claw hands, no hollow bones, none of that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. Oh,
Help me understand what I've seen, Tilly. Help me so I can help you.
I think I always knew I was turning into a bird.
And that night, I found myself suddenly inaugurated into the patchwork of the strange and delicate private life of this family through an accidental, rare witnessing of Tilly's metamorphosis.
afraid.
I know. I am too.
I'm so worried about her. About us.
We're gonna make it through, okay?
All we need is the treatment. All we need is the treatment.
I am 10 or barely 11, and I am a child who is deeply alone. I am not like my peers. My skin does not fit right. I am a child who loves her mother. I am a child who loves her brother, but even they feel distant from me. I am a foreigner who does not yet know what her country is.
Was there a moment where you realized why you didn't belong, why your skin didn't fit right? Tell me.
I am 10 or barely 11, and on a cold winter morning, a bird hits my window with a deep, dark thud. There is a dead bird outside my window, I think. Looking at my knobby 10 or 11-year-old knees, the splotchy brown of an old bruise. Even then I was fragile. And I feel my insides tightening, organs coiling around themselves in lumpy tangles. There's a dead bird outside my window. And it would seem to be such a small, insignificant thing, wouldn't it? Every day, thousands of birds hit windows, but it still manages to be the most tragic incident the world never saw. There's a dead bird outside my window. I say to myself, slipping outside, to find its little corpse, small and soggy in the snow, mottled feathers the color of my bruise. I scoop the bird into my palm, soft, very dead. I look at its little beak, its little feet, its little wings, its closed little eyes. And I press my thumb into its chest. I press hard, harder and harder, and there's a crack. My nails pierce through skin and muscle and viscera and heat. I dig and I excavate until I pull out a single bone. And I hold it up to my eye and look. I look at the inside of the dead bird's bone, its odd porousness, its tunnels of crisscrossing perforations, its open chest, its hollow bones, and I'm so overcome with this sickening sense of familiarity, like when you see a stranger in a dream and you stare and stare and stare until you realize that they have your face. I claw at the frozen earth with filthy fingers to bury the bird, to not have to look at its hollow bones, to bury the ache in my own, but all I can do is cry bitter tears. I already knew. I already knew.
Your mother, your brother, do they understand the distance from even them? The sense that you are utterly different?
I don't think they ever could.
Tell me what you can't tell them. Share with me the burdens you carry alone. They don't have to only be yours.
Mom And Joseph always talk about what used to be normal. You'll be a normal girl again sooner. Everything will be back to normal after the treatment. And they don't know that I never knew this normal that they're referring to. It's more than me knowing I'd always turn into a bird. It's that in my bones. I know that was my trajectory from the very beginning. I was never meant to be a girl who'd grow into a woman. Being a girl. Being human. It was just a stop along the way.
And you can't tell them that.
I can't tell them that. They're already so scared. They just want me to be a girl. They just want me to take the treatment.
The treatment, Tilly. What about the treatment? Tilly.
I try to imagine what it looks like when we halt the process and drive it into the ground. Once I become this artificial girl, and I am to make a home in a body that was never meant to be mine. It was not supposed to be anything more than a temporary place of passage, and it's a void. SAUL. It's just nothing. But it doesn't make the transformation less scary or the wondering of what'll happen to my mind or my memories or who I am or the knowledge that I'll leave my family behind. The thought of my mother holding a bird in her hands and looking for her daughter within it. My mom cradling her little bird saying, "Where is my daughter? Where is my Tilly?"
us, or do we wait out the night?
Yeah, I know you're worried. I'll get on it. I'll call him right now.
I couldn't sleep that night. The next. For the entire week. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her. A hand on my cheek. A claw on the other. Her face, her mouth on mine. And for the entire week, I could not return to the red brick house at the periphery of its town. I could not answer the phone. I could barely eat. I buried myself in my work to try and chase Tilly away, and I could not stop thinking of her, of her family. I thought of Joseph, the fire with which he protected his family, his dedication to them. And Suzanne, her warmth and her kindness and her patience, her sacrifices, the vulnerability I saw glimmering flashes of, and Tilly. And the kinship I felt for this girl, despite this bird in the in-between, who, despite the love of her family, felt so profoundly alone, despite myself. And I knew that I couldn't be like the others who had left her behind. I didn't want to be.
Saul.
Suzanne,
You're here.
Do you think if I could explain?
I don't know why you think you can just waltz back into this house. Tilly's been beside herself all week. If you're going to abandon her, just do it in one fell swoop, all right? Make it easier for us to pick up the pieces.
I don't want to abandon her, Joseph.
She doesn't deserve this.
Please just hear me out.
I don't know.
I was scared. I was a coward.
You should go.
No. Saul stays. The only reason I told him to leave was because I didn't want him to have to see me like this, because I didn't think it was fair. Saul stays. Can you read to me today?
Of course.
Okay.
Mom,
Not now.
I have some work to get done. I'll be in my room.
Whatever the true reason for your absence may be, you care too much about her to not return. I knew that. Thank you for coming back.
I had to.
I'm sorry. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I won't do that again.
Good. Because I'd like to stick around a little longer. you want to talk about it?
No. They can't know.
They won't. This is new.
Feathers.
Is that what those are?
Okay, I know they're a little ugly right now, but you don't have to rub it in.
Come on, you know that's not what I meant.
But they were a real toughie. I think I almost peed myself during that episode.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Joseph.
I thought you'd be in the kitchen helping Mom with dinner.
I'm just getting a bit of fresh air first.
Is it all right if I...
Oh, of course.
Oh, actually, would you...
Why not? Yeah.
I didn't know you smoked. Although, why would I?
It's been years since I last did. Got into a bit of a chain smoking habit when things were a little rough.
Oh, shit, sorry, I didn't mean to...
No. I'm an adult. I make my own decisions.
Am I still not an enabler?
Let's not think too hard about that. All right?
Was it when your mom died?
What?
When you got into the, smoking habit. Sorry, actually, just never mind.
No. No, it's okay.
I don't know why I brought that up.
It's okay.
Really don't know why I brought that up.
It was, actually. Did Tilly tell you about her?
Yes. She talks about you when you're not here. I'm sorry about your mom.
It's okay. It's been a few years. I was your age, actually.
23.
Yeah.
It can't have been easy.
I can't say that it was. She was the person I cared most about in the world since then. Well, it hasn't been the same.
Our dad died when we were young. Tilly was just an infant, but I was 7. I mean, it's completely different than losing a parent as a young adult, but I don't remember him all that much. Memories of him are soft around the edges. You know, it's funny. The first time I saw you, kind of struck me. You sort of carry yourself the same way he did.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of like, you know.
You're saying that's what I look like?
Just take it or leave it, you know. Tilly had mentioned you lost your dad as well.
Yeah, I did.
Hey.
Hmm.
I'm sorry I was hard on you.
Joseph, I get it. You want to protect your sister. I went missing for a week. I deserved it.
Yeah, but even before then, it was clear that Tilly and Mom trusted you, and I should have trusted them. I'm sorry.
I forgive you, Joseph. Don't dwell on it. It's in the past.
And, you know, if you and Mom are, it's none of my business, but
No.
If she's happy, I'm happy, and you're both adults.
Joseph, we're not.
I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I don't really want to know about my mother's intimate life.
Oh, I'm not sleeping with your mother, Joseph.
Shit. Okay. Well, fair enough. See you inside, Saul.
Although my initiation into the sacred privacy of this home was a baptism by fire of sorts, the deepening of my bonds with the family was nothing short of joyful. Despite the progression of Tilly's metamorphosis, as I soon realized, I loved them.
Dance with me, my old friend, once before we go. Let's pretend this song won't end, and we never have to go home. And we'll dance among the chandeliers, and nothing matters when we're dancing. In tatters, you're entrancing. Be we in Paris or in Lansing, nothing matters when we're dancing. You've never been more beautiful. Your eyes like two full moons, as here in this poor old dance hall, among the dreadful tunes, the awful songs we don't even hear. And nothing matters when we're dancing. In tatters, you're entrancing. Be we in Paris or in Wales.
Fun.
Joseph, will you help me with the food?
Yeah.
I'll miss dancing a lot.
All right, let's eat.
Really good, Mom.
Saul to thank. It's a recipe of his.
Ooh, give yourself some credit. You did the brunt of the work.
It's 50-50.
60-40.
Maybe Saul can teach you how to cook, Joseph.
Not all of us can be Renaissance men.
Okay. Now you give yourself some credit, Joseph.
No, that's all right. Gotta have at least a few lugheads around, right?
We're far from a lughead.
I don't know, Mom. I think he's hit the nail pretty good on the head.
Hey. What kind of person calls at dinner time?
I'm about to find out. Oh, hi. All right. We're still on Thursday. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, wow. Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, yes. Have a wonderful night. That was Dr. Hess.
Treatment?
The test last week.
They worked.
They found the treatment! Oh my god.
Wow.
It's really something.
He says that if we start injections as soon as next week, we could absolutely be on the right track.
And everything will be back to normal.
How I
Tilly? Tilly, talk to me.
Tilly? I know it's scary, Tilly. Needles aren't the best, but think about all the things you'll be able to do once you grow strong again. Your muscles, your bones, returning to your old self. You could spend the entire day gardening or start drawing again. You could ride your bicycle through town, go swimming in the river, or climb the trees down the road like you used to. It'll all be worth it in the end, my love. No?
No. I can't receive the treatment. I can't receive it.
Harold,
What is she saying?
I can't receive the treatment.
of course you can. If you have any worries about side effects...
I don't want the treatment.
What do you mean you don't want the treatment?
I don't want it.
I can't be hearing this right.
It's not a question of want or not, Mathilde. You're sick and you deserve to heal.
Me being a bird is not a cancer. It's not a tumor that needs to be removed. It's irrevocably part of me. It's who I am. I have spent years grappling with the fact that I've been on this trajectory since birth in a single straight line with no deviations, and I need you to believe me. Because I'm terrified, Mom. But there is no future for me in a human form. I was born to have a beak and claws and hollow bones.
This is ludicrous. This is... Where is this even coming from?
It's coming from me, Mom. Please don't drag him into this.
Actually, I think I want to know if Saul's heard of this before.
Please.
Saul?
I have. I've heard this before.
No.
Tilly has expressed her concerns about the outcome of the treatment to me.
And you didn't think to tell me?
Suzanne,
I trusted you, Saul. You know just how much I did.
I wasn't seeking to undermine your authority. I promise you. I don't have it in me to do that.
My daughter tells you that she'd rather turn into a bird, and you don't think the right thing to do is share that with me?
Mom, please.
I just wanted Tilly to feel that she could share what she wanted with me without... I just wanted her to be able to speak her mind without feeling like she was going to be told on, Suzanne.
Have you forgotten that you work for me, Saul?
Mom!
I cannot believe this. Do you really, truly think, Mathilde, that turning into a bird, when the solution to that is right in our hands, is for your own good?
It's what needs to happen. I need you to understand that it's the only thing that can happen.
And I need you to understand that we have waited for so long for this cure. Put so much sweat and tears into ensuring that you would be okay. So you do not get to wake up one morning and decide that being reduced to a bundle of feathers is your destiny, your irreversible fate. You give up now when we finally have the promise of a normal life. And have you even thought about us, your mother and your brother? About the grief that this will put us through when we don't have to go through it at all?
Please, just listen to Mom, Tilly.
I have thought of you, Mom. I have, and I need you to let go of me.
Let go? Let go? You do not get to tell me to let go of you. You are my sun and my stars and my moon. You're my pulse and my blood and the one that I have chosen to bleed for time and time again. I've dedicated my entire life to you. I've given you every ounce of myself until there was nothing left to give, and yet given more. How dare you? How dare you? What twisted little idea has given you the impression that you get to tell me to let go of you?
Me refusing the cure isn't to make a point, or to hurt you, or to be cruel. It isn't about you, or Joseph, or Saul, or even anybody else.
What do you think of my daughter's demands, Saul? Since you were privy to this information so early on, I'm sure you've had time to mull over it.
Suzanne,
You know that's not fair to ask of him.
it's not my place to say.
But it was your place to keep all of this from her mother.
Enough! Keep Saul out of this! I told Saul because I was scared. I'm telling you, Mom, because the part of me that's always afraid that you secretly resent me, that you believe that my condition held you hostage for years, that you felt forced to shut yourself off from the world and stay at home and tend to me.
Mom did all of that because she loves you, Tilly.
The part of me that feels guilty for who I am and what it's done to us. I think that part of me was afraid that you think that me rejecting the cure is me spitting in your face and being ungrateful and telling you that your sacrifices weren't worth it. You think it's me betraying you.
Hilda.
But I don't have the luxury of pretending anymore. I can't go forward with this. I can't. Mom? Please?
You're being selfish, Mathilde. Utterly, utterly selfish.
Tilly.
And as your mother, I have to make this information is...
Tilly?
Mom, I think something's wrong. Tilly, oh my God.
She needs help right now.
Do we call her doctor or...
Mathilde!
I think she's getting smaller. Mom, is there anything...
What can we do, Suzanne?
Get her a sheet and a pillow. It's gonna be okay. I promise. It's gonna... Oh, no. I wish you told me. Maybe then we wouldn't be here.
You think that if you had interfered early enough, you would have been able to convince her, don't you? But you know your daughter, Suzanne. You know her so much better than I do. And you know that wouldn't have been possible. I know what loss is. And there are some impending losses that make us think that we can defeat nature, that we can triumph against the universe and bring back what we love so dearly, but we can't. All we can do is let go. And maybe we can find our peace in that. Suzanne, Joseph, get some sleep. Can I come back tomorrow morning?
For Tilly.
There was a rift in the house. As Tilly's metamorphosis advanced, Suzanne continued to care for her. That was a constant within the family. Suzanne did not abandon her children. But there was a great divide, nonetheless. A fault between mother and daughter.
I don't know what to do. She wants me to be cured, and I feel like she doesn't understand. Or she doesn't want to.
I don't think it's that she doesn't want to. She just loves you so much, and sometimes love makes us stubborn.
It hurt, Saul. It hurt when she called me selfish. Didn't feel like love.
I know.
But I'm scared. I hurt her too.
I think she has some healing to do, and I don't think that's your fault. I watched Tilly become more bird than girl. Her skin more and more indistinguishable beneath growing feathers. Her body smaller and more fragile by the day. Her nose and mouth morphing into one another and hardening. Her eyes, her dark, beady little eyes. Her mind taking on its new shape.
Soft.
The feathers?
Touch them, Saul.
Are you sure?
Touch. Feel right. Want to fly.
I don't know if you're ready yet.
Want to fly.
The remainder of her human form became not much more than a cruel reminder of what she was never meant to be. You'll hurt yourself, Tilly. What are you up to doing today? I can read to you. We can look at the pictures in that book you like. We can even just listen to music.
No!
No?
Don't want those things anymore. Feel foreign. Drawing, gardening, reading, blurred around the edges. Useless.
We don't have to do anything then. We can stare at your walls and the plants you've painted and reacquaint yourself with the house that once closed in around you a little too much. Become friends with it.
Saul?
Yes.
Don't feel things like before. Feel like sharp flashes. Feels like heat. But still love.
Still love.
And here, have Mom And Joseph and you, love is stubborn, love will go last, know that in bones. Mom. And Joseph. And you.
Tilly.
Love you. Love. I love you.
I love you too, Tilly. I love you.
Will you stay until the end?
I'll stay as long as you need me.
Saul,
Yes.
tired of this body. Prison. Mockery. Half girl. Don't want it. Want. Fly.
Tilly?
Want to fly.
Tilly, where are you? Are you upstairs?
Want to fly.
Tilly! Suzanne!
Billy? What happened?
Tilly said she had to go get something upstairs, and it was taking a while, and I didn't think she would jump. I'm sorry, Suzanne. I'm so sorry. I should have gone up with her. And
It's not your fault. It wasn't your fault. Can you call Dr. Hess? His number's on a note in the kitchen counter. Mathilde, why did you jump? Why did you jump?
Wanted to fly. Sorry, Mom.
Tilly, when it's time for you to fly, we'll take it step by step and do what's safest, okay? Let's just wait a little longer.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mom.
Dr. Hess said that bird fractures heal quickly, and it shouldn't impair her development too much. But
Same thing happened 3 years ago when her bones first started hollowing out. Every single day she was in agony. Couldn't even get up from her bed. Mom shut out the entire world to take care of her. Shut out me too sometimes. But there was nothing that hurt more. Watching her fractures heal in 5 days, just for her to wake up the next morning completely unable to use her goddamn legs, and that's something that you'll never...
I know. Joseph, I know you feel that I betrayed your mother by not telling her, and that I betrayed you too. I don't want to seek your forgiveness, Joseph. I don't want to demand that of you. Just know that everything I did for Tilly. I miss you already. I do too. I do too.
Good. Good.
I'm gonna go set up the cot.
Mom,
What?
let me sleep in Tilly's room tonight.
Joseph,
You haven't slept in your own bed in so long.
it's fine.
No, Mom.
You should listen to him.
I love you.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
Good night, Mom.
Good night, son. Good night, Joseph.
Saul,
Yes.
I know it's late, but would you stay a little longer?
I'm sorry, Suzanne.
I can't hold anything against you, Saul. The light you've brought into this home, the joy you brought my daughter, I couldn't.
Suzanne.
I've never met anyone with a heart like yours. I pushed Tilly away.
I don't, Suzanne, I don't think
I told her selfish. And for what? I can't force her into the treatment. I never could. And now I don't know how long I have left with her. I've lost her.
I don't think you have.
How can you say that, Saul? How can you know?
I wish I could tell you that I can, that my knowledge is concrete, that I have more than just English doctorate platitudes to assuage you, but...
Witty as ever, aren't you?
Maybe you did for a moment, Suzanne, but believe me when I say that you found her. You found each other.
I don't feel like I have. When she said all of those things the night the cure was found, about being a bird, about never really having been a true girl, I knew all of that. Inside me, I knew. She's my daughter. I knew there was something about Tilly the first moment I held her in my arms. When she took her first breath, still slick with the wet of my womb, her heart beat a little too fast. Of course I knew, Saul. Of course I knew.
And yet?
And yet? Is it so wrong of me to not want to accept it? When accepting means letting go of my daughter, not in the way most parents do, watching their child grow. Not in the way that I watched Joseph morph into his own person, but with a slow and violent loss that erodes what little there is left of me every single day. I was angry when she said those things, Saul, despite them being the truth. It was horrible. I was so angry at her when I know that I shouldn't be. And it made me ask myself over and over again, like some sick mantra, what if her fears are true? What if I do resent her? And it isn't the first time I've thought of it. Every time I feel exhaustion radiating from me, those questions creep up on me and it rattles me to my core. Sometimes, on those difficult days, I can't help but think, I love Mathilde more than I can bear it. But I would really rather be anywhere else on earth right now. And I can taste this bile in my throat as I ask myself, do you resent your own daughter? Within moments, I've convinced myself that I'm suppressing a loathing that only the worst mothers on earth could harbor against their children. And all I want to do is crawl out of my skin and crawl away from my child, the light of my life, who I do not deserve, for whom I can never do enough, and for whose suffering I can never take away. No matter how many claw marks I take, or how many shit stains I clean out of her sheets. I want to crawl away and into the earth where I bury myself and cry for years and years and nobody can see me. Me and my failures and the gaping hole where the two children I've left behind were. The two children who are the best things to ever happen to me. And when I'm done crying, I sleep for 1,000 years. And when I've awoken and emerged from the earth, my children are gone. And everybody else is gone. And I'm not much more than breath bound by bones wrapped in muscle, skin, teeth, hair, nails, and grime embedded deep in my ridges. But there's no taste of bile. No fear. No echoes from the pits of me. And I feel like enough in this fantasy about a nothingness. And I'm not tired anymore. I'm so tired.
I know, Suzanne, I know.
Sometimes I think that my love for my children will swallow me whole someday. Until motherhood is all there is left to me. And I've forgotten the thrill of being selfish, or how to even be it in the first place. I crave it sometimes.
Selfishness?
The delirious, sugary rush of a young adult's self-indulgent impulses.
It isn't all that.
Easy for you to say. You weren't a parent at 20.
I think that you may be allowed to indulge every now and then without it leaving a stain on the record of your motherhood.
Maybe so. But not now. For now, I can only do so much, and for now, I'm Tilly's mother. Go home and rest, Saul. You've done more than enough.
Good night, Suzanne.
Good night, Saul.
We soon celebrated Tilly's 16th birthday. It would be her last with her family.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tilly. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish.
All right, what did you wish for?
Oh, you know full well she's not supposed to share.
Her wish won't come true.
Since when are we superstitious? How about it, Tills?
The end is near, isn't it? And it was oddly quiet, that end. There was a lack of the violence that had punctured earlier parts of Tilly's metamorphosis. This was rather defined by a fragility and carefulness for the almost bird living in the house. Every minute act was infused with love. Every motion a silent goodbye. I didn't get to say goodbye to Tilly.
She's gone. That's all.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was very early this morning. It was clear that was it. Just a little bird.
Just a little bird.
I saw her on the windowsill, and she was telling me, "It's time, Mom. You have to let me go."
And you let her go.
I did. I opened that window and away she flew. But she was beautiful, Saul. And in a way she was more her than I'd ever seen her be.
Did you feel it, Suzanne? Did you feel that you had found her?
Yes. Yes, Saul, I did. We found each other.
Suzanne,
Thank you, Saul, for everything. 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 Everything.
I never saw them again. It was a mild spring morning. The air was cold on my skin when I left the house for the last time. I looked up, and I saw a bird perched on the roof. Mottled feathers the color of a bruise. And it looked at me for a moment before flying away. So small against the sky. And I felt love flooding through my chest. Have you ever seen a girl turn into a bird? Because I have.
And if you fly, fly away, my baby, don't cry. I'll be here waiting for you. No matter what skin you wear, you're still my Tilly, my sun and stars. Yes, you'll go far, free as the wind, my sun and stars. Yes, you'll go far, free as the wind beneath your wings, my Tilly, my Tilly. Mm.